Isolation is a state of being alone. Other words that sound like isolation are segregation, separation, solitude. And it's very brilliant that Mike Flanagan decided to use an isolated island for his story that could be on so many things, but to me was on social cohesion and indoctrination. I would like to talk about everything that I found intriguing about this series, but I want to start with the location of the story. Crockett Island is an island far away from everything else. If you see the beginning of the show, we see like a pan view, like an aerial view of the island, and it's surrounded by water. The people in these islands used to be hundreds, but there was a spill, and now there are dozens of people. Just a few handful people, and now everyone knows themselves personally. Everyone is in each other's business. They're in each other's business. You know how you're like, why are you in my business? In Cricket Island, your business is everybody's business. Especially Bev Keen's. But that's a story for another day. I mean, later on in this video, we're going to talk about Bev Keen. Beverly Keen, my favorite character in this show. I hated her so much. I loved her. Yeah, that was the dynamic that we had. Back to the story. The island, as I said earlier, is suffering from a spill that has reduced their population by a lot. So many people have left the island for greener pastures, and the ones that remain have this kind of false loss of hope. They don't know if there's any hope. Is there a reason for that they are staying? Do they have any greener pasture? And this is a perfect place for indoctrination to breed. A close-knit society cut off from so many like external factors and influences is the perfect place for someone to come and tell you that you should drink blood. Let me stop. Now that there's no plenty people on the island anymore, the population has declined. The people there have lost hope. They are barely making their ends meet. They are paying rent out of their noses. They are in search of purpose. And that's where religion comes in. Religion is our excuse to give answers to the questions that we're so scared of answering. Are we alive because there is a greater cause? Are we living because there is a greater cause? Or were we just put on earth because of a system that is biological and we're just gonna die and become fertilizer? So when we are having so much to grapple upon with our purpose, we turn to religion. Religion is a good way to have like purpose in life. It gives you the promise of life after death, a peaceful life where there's no suffering, there's no pain, there's just happiness and joy. And it also promises you abundance in life right now. Oh my god, this is so uncomfortable. Oh, ouch, my leg. I've been working all day. It's kind of sad, sometimes to just see like, imagine there is no life after death. That means all the people that we have lost to death have gone forever. So we hold on to religion because this religion is like a safety net. It helps us to think like, wow, maybe I'm gonna see my dad one day. Maybe I'm gonna see my mom one day. My brother that died when we were 10, maybe I'm gonna see my brother one day. Like, it just helps us to not just believe that this is it, that this sad life of having to make ends meet every single day, barely, while rich capitalists are out there exploiting us, is all that there is to us. So we think of the afterlife and we think of life after death. And we, the people of Crockett, we believe in things that feed into our delusions. And if God, religion, gives us purpose that we're searching for, gives us comfort that things can be better one day, who on earth is close to God? Religious figures, religious leaders are the fountain that God has put on earth for us to drink from. So of course we're going to put these people on a pedestal. Of course we're going to trust them and go to them for solace, for comfort. But lest we forget that these people are humans just like us. They have desires, they have wants, they have biases, they have greed. And the Bible or any other holy religious book is up to their subjective reviews. And they can start to exploit us just like those rich capitalists are exploiting us right now. And we begin to make mistakes that we're not meant to be making. And we begin to trust them too much and become victims of their manipulation. No? Part two. The power of miracles. Now, Father Paul has come back to the island. He is this new priest in the island that everyone is so in awe with. This explains just how tight-knit this community is because they hardly see people that are new, right? So when they see Father Paul, they are like, who is this guy? But like everyone, because he is a religious priest that is taking over from their old priest, Monsignor Pruitt, who fell ill during his pilgrimage to Jerusalem. They welcome him. They're so hospitable to him because he is a priest. But he's not the only person that is somewhat new to this place, because if you watch the show, you know, like, he's not new. Like, we all knew that he's not a new guy. A lot of people knew that he's not a new guy. Like, if you watch the show. Just opposing it to Riley Flynn's arrival and how a lot of people were very like skeptical and side-eyeing him when he was walking through the village, because the island is literally a small expanse of land. You can walk from one end to another. Right? I don't think I see any cars throughout the whole series, but I think they just walk or use like bicycles everywhere they want to go. But they accept Father Paul very easily. And he begins to preach, and he's so charismatic. He talks of things with so much devotion, sparking interest into people that did not really believe in God as much as they did. And for those that did believe in God, he was increasing their faith in God. His charisma was beyond rule. He was exuding confidence, talking about miracles that are going to happen, talking about new beginnings and new redemption and new cycles, a new era. And everyone is like, wow, this is what we needed. After so many years and so many weeks and so many months of looking for hope, looking for peace, looking for a purpose in life, Father Paul had come with a purpose in a big fat trunk. Yeah, he came in a big fat trunk. His charisma exudes so much confidence, so much safety, that people begin to trust him. He begins to build like individual relationship with people. He's talking to them one-on-one. Everyone is having fun. Everyone is happy. Everyone is getting to know him. Everyone is having a little like ha 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 moment. It's really cute, it's really fun. Like, you're like, oh wow, how can this go wrong, right? Well, who better to manipulate you than people that you love and trust? I remember talking about I don't want to go on a tangent, but I remember talking about this with my friend about how like it's so crazy how people be getting scammed and then you still get blamed when you are gaslit by a partner or by a friend. Like, obviously the people that have power over you are the people that know you, right? Anyways, back to our story. Father Paul is building this relationship with very important people. He's building the relationship with Bev King, the CEO of the Karens and the Old Hiad and Dows. He's building a relationship with the mayor, with Riley Flynn. He's just like building a relationship with people that seem to be important, right? This is strategic. He's talking to people, exuding to breakthroughs and miracles, talking of healing and a new era. All this is igniting this new joyful religious faith that people have once lost or we're slowly losing, he's making them feel something again. And then it happens. Lisa Scarborough is the mayor's daughter that has been on a wheelchair for this very long time now. Everyone knows how she got into her wheelchair. A drunk that still lives among them, Joe Corley, was shooting and accidentally shot her spine, and she has been wheelchair bound since then. But that particular day at Mass, she stood up. After obviously Father Paul beckoned onto her, she stood up from her wheelchair and she walked to get the communion. The Mass everyone is in shock. You see Riley Flynn standing up. He's like, whoa. Everyone's like, whoa. I'm also like, huh? Obviously, I didn't know at this point like the whole gist, but I was like, okay, Father Paul, we see you doing wonders. Jesus Christ the second or something. Like the news of the miracle obviously is going to spread like wildfire. It's a very small town. Hello, wildfire. If you get like the last episode, wildfire. Anyway. The news spreads like wildfire and the pews in church start to fill up. Slowly but surely, people are coming for Mass daily now. It's no more just 5 people at Mass. The pews are filling up one by one by one. But that's not the only miracle that's happening. Riley Flynn's mother, what's her name? I forgot her name. Damn. Is that bad? Riley Flynn's mother doesn't need her glasses anymore. His father doesn't have the backache anymore. There's another lady, her name is Sarah Gunning. Sarah Gunning is a doctor. Sarah Gunning's mother is suffering from dementia, right? And she's having these episodes. But slowly, because Father Paul is going to give her like Mass every day at her house because she can't come to the church, right? And slowly but surely, she's recovering. She's starting to remember things. And she's even like being Benjamin Button. Like she's literally aging backwards at this point. So everyone is like, wow, something powerful is happening. Something miraculous is happening. But to top it all up, Lisa Scarborough stands up at Mass. Father Paul is the divine figure now. He's divinity. He's God sent. He is the person that God has sent on earth for the people of Crockett to be saved. They have no more problems. It's only up from here. What else could they be worrying about? Part 3, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is a belief in a God or the belief in the doctrines of a teaching of a religion. Now, having faith in a God is a powerful thing because faith is an intangible, invisible thing, but is a force that has real life consequences. When you have a full devotion to a particular faith, whatever that faith may be, a particular God, whoever or whatever that God may be, you can be manipulated by people using the words of your God against you. In episode 4, Lamentations, Father Paul has just died. He has a dizzy spell during Mass, but then later on at the rectory, he falls on the floor, chokes on his own blood, and he's dead. 5 minutes later, after everyone there is mourning him, the people that were there were Beth Keane, the mayor, the mayor's wife, and this handyman named Sturge. So they're all like mourning the death of their priest when he comes back to life. He literally pulls a Lazarus. Bro came back from the dead. He rose from the trenches back into the land of the living in front of people. So you're not saying that it didn't happen. Very, very reliable people are there. Bev Keane, like I said before, the CEO of Holier Than Thou's, and the white man who is the mayor of the town, a white man in political power. Who else can we trust except him? So the priest comes back to life in front of these people, basically sealing the deal. He made Lisa Scarborough walk. He is coming back from the dead. He is God sent from heaven above. He drops from the heavens to this small town of Crockett, which is hell, and he's bringing these people out of pain. Oh my days. Are you here? Are you listening? Those are not the only weird things that are happening. He's not just making miracles, whipping it left and right. Strange things are also happening, okay? Really, really, really sinister things are the horizon. First of all, he becomes hungry for his blood. He cuts open his hand and he's praying, and then he stabs himself because he's holding the rosary cross so tight, and he starts to bleed. But he's like drawn to it. He's like, what is this melody? And he's about to drink his blood, and he drinks his blood. He's burning in the sunlight, and he's not able to eat human food. Oh my days. He stays in his room the whole day. He's starving, he's moving around, he's praying to his God. And then Joe Colley, the drunk who put Lisa in the wheelchair, was about to get himself a drink, but he stops himself, and he's so proud of himself, and he doesn't want to fall back into drinking because he's trying to get sober, right? So he runs to the rectory, the only place he feels safe, the only person he knows is not going to judge him, the person who is going to give him comfort in this time of need, that he's about to do something that he's so destructive to himself. He doesn't trust himself enough to be alone. He goes to meet his priest. He goes to meet Father Paul. He goes there searching for this purpose that the whole people of Crockett have been searching for. The purpose that you search for, that I search for. And he's going there for peace. But then he becomes a human soda pop. Because Father Paul is so hungry and bloodthirsty, and he hugs him, and he hugs him, and he hugs him. And then Joe Colley's like, okay, this is getting weird. No homo, but like, can you move away? And he falls down, hits his head, cracks his skull open, and then he is bleeding from his head. And Father Paul basically goes vampire mode on him. While watching Twilight, guys, it's happening. He does the whole blood. Anyway, Father Paul actually sucked all his blood out, and it's so crazy. I was like, ew, skip. Actually, I didn't skip it. I don't skip. Well, that night passed. It happened. Joe Colley is now dead. Joe Colley is dead. He's dead. He's very dead. He's on the floor. Dead. That's what happening. That's what's happening. And Father Paul is like all smothered in Joe Colley's blood. When Bev King obviously comes in, because they're all waiting for him to show up for mass, and he's not showing up for mass. And when Bev King opens the door and sees Joe Colley's body down there and Father Paul drenched in blood, she doesn't scream. She doesn't ask for help. She doesn't run away. She meets past Father Paul. She crosses over his leg. She goes to meet Father Paul, and she tells him, do not vex yourself for what? I don't remember her exact words, but she told him something about, this is something you had to do. This is something you had to do. Like, get yourself clean. This is something you had to do. And he kept apologizing and was like, I don't know what got over me. I don't know what got over me. And she told him, like, don't guilt yourself for something you have to do. And I was like, is this lady crazy? Like, I knew she's crazy. She literally poisoned Joe Colley's dog because she hates animals. She literally gave this guy the dog the most vicious poison ever, that he's tears open. Oh my god, that scene was so gory. And I was so angry because, like, why are you hurting the poor dog? The dog did nothing to you. It did nothing to you. He just barks. And, like, obviously people are always like, why are dogs barking? Dogs bark because they are trying to communicate, right? And it's like, you talk. Like, a lot of people talk a lot. I talk a lot. So, like, why are we going to complain about dogs barking? It's crazy. It's really, really, really crazy. But she does that. And she goes after getting Father Paul, or putting him together and making excuses for his actions. She goes and she calls the mayor and she calls Sturge, and she tells them that now that everyone is in church, they should wrap up the body of Joe Colley and drop it in the ocean, right? And obviously these men are men of God. They are men of Catholic faith, Christian faith. They believe in God, and the Bible says in very bold, simple letters, very clearly for every Christian to listen, thou shalt not kill. And if you help in hiding the body, you're an accomplice. That means you actually kind of did it in a way. So the people, like the mayor's like, what? I'm not gonna help cover the body. And why would he kill Joe Colley? And he's screaming at the priest like, what did you do? What did you do? Here comes Beth Keane. In her Beth Keane fashion, she's very much like slapping the mayor, telling him, why are you acting like you want to cherry pick the glory of God? That this is the man that puts your daughter in a wheelchair, yada 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 yada. She just uses a lot of scripture to rally this man up into being accomplices in a murder. Taking me back to the main point of my video. Using the words of your God against you, open to manipulation, social coercion, indoctrination, you are in danger. Well, they were in danger. They were in real ass danger, but they didn't know. Because who are you to question a priest if he says this is God? Faith is a spectrum in our society as it is in Crockett Island. Remember, me and you reside in Crockett Island. We are two extra that did not get paid. We're just on Crockett Island. This is the imagination. This is the reality of us right now. In our society of Crockett Island, faith is a spectrum from people who completely believe in God, who are devout people, who are extremists, to people who are a little bit skeptical. Like they believe there's a God, they believe in the Christian God, but they're a little bit like, I'm just watching. And then we have people like Riley Flynn that is like, fuck all of that shit. I don't believe in any gods. I don't believe in anything. I had all the time in prison to read all the holy books. And you know what I did not? I did not find God. And that's chill. Like, we're all in our own little spaces on earth, trying to explain our purpose, trying to find our way on life. And if you find your way on in life through religion or through atheism or through art or through anything that you want to find your purpose in, we cannot come here and like judge one another for how we do it, except you're doing weird ass shit on the internet or weird ass shit in real life. I'm going to be judging you expeditiously. Sorry, not sorry. Often, whether you believe in God or not, people who believe in God often run back to their faith, often run back to religion in times of crisis, in times where there seems to be no answers, and you're just forced to go down on your knees and pray to that God, right? So when I forget my chat. Okay. So sometimes when you do ritualistic things like going to mass every single I went to Catholic school for 6 years. We did the mass every single day. The Catholics took the communion every single day. When you do ritualistic things like that, it provides a sense of collectivity, communion, community, and we're all human beings. Whether it be religion, it be faith, it be whatever society you find yourself, community and collectivity is something that fosters security, it fosters belongingness. And sometimes you might think that, oh, this is an individualistic choice. I'm choosing to go to mass every single day. Especially in a small Crockett Island like that, you might not really know like there are some external forces that are pulling you in to participate in this thing that you think is your individualistic choice. It's really not, sweetheart. It's really not. And this is the indoctrination we're talking about. This is the social cohesion. This is the power of the collective. When you foster collectivity in people, it's very easy for you to gain control of them faster because of the uniform belief system. It's easier for you to penetrate into their minds and talk a whole lot of crap. But that's the thing with faith, right? You're never really sure if this God you believe in is actually real. There's no concrete evidence to prove that God is real. There's no concrete evidence to prove that God is not real. So you're just left with faith, believing without seeing. The evidence of things not seen, the substance of things hoped for. Faith. Faith is a beautiful thing to find community in. Faith, because there are other people who believe so strongly in this thing that you believe, and you just want to find a place where you belong. So I understand faith. I understand it. I feel it so deeply in my heart. I love faith, and I'm not really interested in people who so strongly, without any doubt, believe in things. I love people who discuss the times they have doubts, because we're human beings and we're seeing things and not seeing things, and it's very beautiful to see that as humans, you are being a human, you are openly discussing about the times where you grapple with your existential crisis and try to balance them with your religious beliefs. Yeah, anyways, next one, the Lazarus effect, or the things you see. George Santayana defines fanaticism as doubling down your efforts when you have forgotten your aim. Who do we think has forgotten their aim in this series, Midnight Mass? Let me know in the comments. Like, tell me who you think lost their way and forgot their aim and started to double down the efforts. Let me know in the comments. Let's go crazy. Fanaticism is a belief that consists of uncritical, you're not using your brain now, babes, sacrificing your brain for the faith race is fanaticism. You are being absolutely ridiculous because you don't want to go contradict your beliefs. You want to believe. In all things, you must believe. You must have faith. You must have faith. So when you see people rising from the dead and the lame walking and the blind beginning to see, and then they tell you that all this is happening because of an angel that is asking you to kill yourself and come back to life again as a blood-sucking monstrosity, you have to believe that is God, because God does all these things. Nothing natural would Benjamin Button a person. So of course it has to be God, right? Especially when it's coming from a trusted priest, someone that you believe so much in, someone that is the mouth of God, someone that is God's messenger on earth. Of course you're going to believe him. Of course you're going to sacrifice your critical thinking. Of course you're going to let your brain go dumb so that your heart and your faith is controlling your mind. Fanaticism. Fanaticism is obsessive enthusiasm to obey your beliefs. The Lazarus effect is when someone who is a professional medically declare someone's dead and then the person comes back to life. The person's heart beats come back up and blood starts to flow again. That is the Lazarus effect. La 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 la. Moving on. Everyone in this movie is Lazarus effecting on all of us. The name Lazarus effect comes from the biblical story of Lazarus who dies. 4 days later, Jesus Christ comes to his town and he tells him, "Hey, Lazarus, get out of here, boy." And Lazarus is seen walking out of the tomb. They use tombs then. Graves are like later on. But we are seeing everyone die and come back to life in this show. And this is my favorite part of the movie. This is my favorite part of the series. This is my favorite part. This is the moment I was like, wow, I have to talk about this. I'm obsessed with this show. Like, what is going on? This is mayhem. This is chaos. What the hell is going on? The Mass at Midnight, Easter Vigil. Episode 6. I think 6. Episode 6. The Acts of the Apostles. Episode 5, actually. The Gospel. Yes. Episode 5, the gospel, the mass at midnight, Easter vigil. Everyone is happy. Everyone is excited. The Muslim sheriff, his son, is like, Dad, I'm going to the mass at midnight. Literally everyone is talking about Easter vigil, the end of Lent, the end of the fasting period. Wow. The reason I made a YouTube channel, the reason you discovered youtube.com, Joe Colley died, Erin lost her baby, Riley Flynn burned in the sunlight. This is the reason we all exist. This is the reason we all are here for. It's the vigil. It is time for us to eat and drink the communion of God, of Jesus Christ, the body and blood of Jesus Christ, and a little bit of the vampire blood, but mostly body and blood of Jesus Christ. Actually, mostly vampire blood, because this is crazy, batshit crazy. Do you know that they put the poison that they used to kill? Anyways, let's go back to where I originally am. Father Paul is Monsieur Pruitt, in case you didn't already gather from like when you watched the show. Father Paul is Monsieur Pruitt. He puts an angel that he finds in a desert, because when Monsieur Pruitt went on his vacay, he was a little cray-cray. So he got lost during his vacation, and then he stumbled upon this vampire that starts to feed on his blood. But then he starts to say the Lord's Prayer, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Anyways, he starts to say the Lord's Prayer, and then the vampire, for some weird ass reason, was like, let me not kill him. And he doesn't kill Monsieur Pruitt anymore. So when the next day Monsieur Pruitt wakes up, the storm is over, there's the light at the tunnel, he's young again. His old age had died at night, and when the morning comes, everything is perfect. And then he takes this vampire in a trunk all the way from Jerusalem to the Crockett Island. I don't know how he carried the 8 feet fat ass big wing bat wing vampire angel thingy, but he did it. And I'm so, like, out of everything that was like so confusing in this show, this was one of the most confusing things, because how did they not catch you? But it's okay. He transports this angel to Crockett Island, and he's going to give this angel a new army of vampires who would serve him, I guess. I don't know. I don't really understand their contracts, but that is what is happening. He lost it anyways, and he brought a vampire to Crockett Island, right? Now, the communion. The homily comes before the communion. The homily talks to you. It tells you of love. It talks to you of life. It tells you that you love God. It reminds you of all the things that God has done for you. More reasons that you should love God. But this homily is not so different, right? He talks about fear. He talks about death. He talks about Jesus Christ feeling fear. And he talks about faith. Just a leap of faith. Just a leap of faith. You just need to take that little leap. That little touch into the water, he says. He's talking about breakthroughs. He's talking about faith. He's telling people that you're going to be afraid, but you're going to walk through the valley of shadow of darkness, and God is going to hold your hand. He's going to walk you through it. All you have to do is believe in him. Just a second of belief. You just have to believe in God. You just have to believe in God. Faith is important in this step, right? Because you are going to die, just as our Christ died, just as I died. And he tells them about Jesus Christ dying. And the Bible does tell us that Jesus Christ feared for his life. He said, if it is possible, let this cup cross over me. So if Jesus Christ can be afraid, Buki, who are you not to be afraid, Buki? Buki. and stuff. But like, yes, he's telling them that you're gonna be afraid. You can, if you listen to his words, you can see that the people around him are kind of like, what is going on? Like, why is this not the holly jolly breakthrough miracle? Like, the time for breakthrough and miracles are over, babes. This is the main deal. This is when you're gonna be afraid. This is when you're gonna die so you can be reborn. Like, everything is not shits and giggles. We're not having a crock pot. We're not all dancing and killing dogs at picnics. It is time for us to kill ourselves, he's telling them. Okay? And then he tells them the truth. He tells them he's not Father Paul, that he's took the name from Paul in Damascus, because when Paul was going to Damascus through the desert to capture and kill Christians, he was arrested by God and he became blind, and he went to Damascus and everything was made new. He was forgiven all his sins. Yeah, so he said, oh, I just like plagiarized my name. Like, I had no original thought. So I took the name Paul and I'm all cutesy, ha, everything's fun, right? So Monsieur Pruitt is me. I am Monsieur Pruitt, but God has given me a chance at youth again. He has wiped all my pain. He has wiped away old age, because old age is such a bad thing. And I am young again. And you can be that way too. You can get forever youthfulness, forever happiness, but all you have to do is suck blood and kill each other. He hasn't told them this part yet, obviously. But he's telling them, like, don't worry. A price for everlasting life will be paid. Your physical body will die and you will be renewed in a divine body. But all you have to do is have faith. Faith. The belief of things not seen. The evidence of things not seen. The substance of things hoped for. Faith. Believe. This is everything we're talking about. You just have to have faith. You just have to believe. You have to consistently believe. Even if you think you're going crazy because of how much you believe, you just have to do what? Believe. I need water. And as he's saying all of this, you can see that the people of Crockett are trying to make sense of this new miracle. They have seen in the Bible, it talks of people rising from the dead. The Bible talks of people rising from their mats and taking their mats up, lame men walking, blind men seeing. But it's never actually taught about people becoming young after being dead. That's giving very much Twilight. It's giving very much Twilight. So yeah, they kind of, you see the people of Crockett really trying to make sense of this new thing that has come to them. If you hear noises outside, my housemates are kind of in the kitchen right now, so you just have to listen to what I'm saying. Okay, good. And they're trying to balance their cognitive skills with their religious beliefs and their trust in Father Paul, and it's not really like balancing, because you're like, when do people start to become young again? And it's kind of crazy. But he tells them they need to die and let their divine body rise again, right? A price to be paid for everlasting life, and they would have a chance to pay that price tonight at the Easter Vigil at their island, in their little church. This goes against scripture, because the Bible is very clear about how everlasting life is going to be gotten. There's going to be a rapture. There's going to be a great tribulation, and if you survive great tribulation, there's so much in the Revelation part of the book of, like, in the Bible. If you read it through, you would know that it's not going to be a priest in your small town that's going to grant you everlasting life. It's not going to be an angel that's just going to come and rapture the little small Crockett Island. Like, you guys are still part of Earth, people. Like, what is this main character syndrome you're feeling right now, making you think that everywhere else in the world is not going to be raptured, but you're going to be raptured and you're going to have everlasting life on Earth? Like, did you not read the source material? Oh my god. Like, oh my god. And then Father Paul, Monsieur Pruitt, finally says that I know it is hard for you to believe these things just by me merely saying them, so I want you to see. Then he calls Sturge up and gives him the poisoned communion wine. Sturge drinks of the wine and starts to visibly shake in front of the whole parish, and everyone is like standing up trying to like help him, and he dies, right? And then Father Paul Monsieur Pruitt is letting everyone know, like, this is the same process that we all have to take. I took this process and now I am blessed with everlasting life. Jesus Christ took this process. He died on the cross and now he's seated at the right hand side of God Almighty. You have to do this process. You have to take the wine that I have laced with the poison that Bev King used to kill Joe Corley's dog, and I killed Joe Corley. I don't know why we just hate the Joe Corley's family. And they were just two people in the family, him and his dog. And you need to let yourself die so that your divine body will be renewed and you'll be reborn, and you know, everything will be good. But there's a voice of reason. The sheriff that just came to town is a Muslim man who has lost his wife to cancer, whose son has began to fall in love with the Christian God because of all the miracles and all the things that people in his school and his friends have been talking about the parish, right? He says no. Why him? It's a very brilliant way to say, like, it is indoctrination. It is cohesion. It is the collectivity of the worship, the ritualistic nature, the cultish nature of the worship that has enticed these people not to break free because of fanaticism, because they have to believe. They have to not contradict the faith. And the faith is that you must believe. So he says no. He grabs on his son and he's leaving the parish when the angel of God stands there. Even if it doesn't really look like an angel of God, it looks like a bat from the pits of hell. Like a big ass bat from the pits of hell. And he pauses and he moves back in fear. And Father Paul Monsieur Pruitt starts to talk of all the times that the Bible talks of an angel appearing to them. They were afraid. So you have to be afraid. There's a reason you are afraid when you see this creature that looks like it's from the nightmares of H.P. Lovecraft's best books. And he's telling you, like, no, this is an angel of God. This is the angel of God that saved my life, that wants you to kill yourself and drink blood for the rest of your life, but you can't be in the sunlight and you only be in the darkness. Even if our Bible says that God will pull us out of darkness, like, it's just a little joke though. Like, this angel that looks so terrifying is an angel of God, is the angel that saved me and brought me back to my youth, and is the angel that's going to save you. All you have to do is drink the poison I have laced and you shall be saved. You shall be saved. He is not buying it. The sheriff is not buying the whole angel of God talk. He doesn't believe it 1 second. He doesn't believe it 1 minute. He's not buying it. Even when he sees the monster, he's even more convinced that he doesn't want to be here, because that is not an angel of God. That is a beast from hell. So he takes his son and he's pulling his son out of the church. He's saying, Ali, you and I are leaving right now. We're going right now. We're leaving right this second. And I'm not asking you twice. But Ali is mesmerized because he has seen things beyond the natural. Shiny things in front of him that look so good. And he's like, no, Dad, I choose God. I choose God. I don't care what you say. I choose God. And the scary little monster over there is an angel of God. So I'm going to drink the communion wine and I'm going to die. And no matter what his father tried to do, pulled out a gun and shot in the head and tried to do everything to save his son from drinking the communion wine, it doesn't work out because Ali drinks from the wine and he dies. And Bev Keane says that they should all be so proud of Ali, that he has chosen God even when his father has refused for him to choose God. And I thought to myself, why did he have to be Ali? It could be anyone else, anybody else. But Ali drank of the wine and died, and everyone started to drink. One after the other, they drank, mother and child, father and son. They drank and they died. And as people shook violently in front of them and died, more people were dying, choosing the fate to die. Why do you think he had to be Ali? Let me know in the comments. Have you let me know? Okay. I feel like he had to be Ali because even the Muslim boy can have faith. A boy that was not grown and was not trained in your faith has let go of this fear and he has drank. So it's like, who are you not to drink? You will claim to love and believe in God so much. That was the straw on the camel that broke the back of the camel. That was it. This heathen, as you would consider him, this person that hasn't found the right God, has finally found God and has drank of this communion, giving up his earthly body to get a divine one. So who are you not to drink? Part 5. The holiness of cannibalism. I'm just gonna read out exactly what I wrote in my script because I just use my script as a note, but I really like what I said here. I said, what is wrong and what is right? Who is qualified to discern wrong from right, good from evil? And who says that our human mind can comprehend what these two things are? When we talk of God, we talk of him spiritually. He is this infinite being who can never be questioned or understood, who created everything in less than a week and who is all-knowing. Everywhere, all at once. If this all-knowing being tells you that you should do it, even if it's objectively not good in our human brains, it could be objectively good to God. And since he's the creator of our universe, does that not make his subjectivity our objectivity? And I'm so proud of that. I can't believe I read that. I'm so slay. I feel so smart. Like, nobody yuck my yawn. I feel smart, and that's the end, period. If God tells you that this is right, and God sees everything and he knows everything and he's the most powerful being and he's infinite and ever growing, who are you, a mortal that is going to die, who doesn't really know as much as you would like to know, to say that, no, God, this is wrong? You cannot question God. You cannot say that God is making a mistake because he cannot make mistakes. Go crazy in the comments. 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 Go crazy. The holiness of cannibalism comes from who has issued us to kill and eat. If it comes from God, no matter how sick and bloody twisted it sounds, it is perfect and holy. And even without full-on faith and devotedness to God, when you see the miracles begin to happen, when you see all the occurrences happening up to the moment when you are asked to kill yourself and come back as a flesh-eating monster, you can consider it. I wouldn't buy it because, I don't know, I'm just really skeptical like that. But if you do, I won't judge you. That's why I'm not judging anybody in Crockett Island. They saw the things they saw. They experienced the trauma they experienced and they paid for it with their lives. Next! We're going to be talking about Beverly Keane. We're going to talk about Beverly Keane. Episode 6, Beverly Keane. Beverly Keane is a devout local church leader, right? She is in charge of a lot of things in the church. I don't really know. I think it's called a cactus. Yes, I think she's the cactus of the church. She's planning the whole church. Throughout the season, you see her grappling with like personal challenges and inner conflicts. She is a catalyst. She's the one pushing all the narratives. She killed Joe's dog. She's telling the sheriff that he has no right to come and tell her that she cannot hand out the Bible in a public school because it's the word of God and it's just a pursuit of knowledge. And even when the thing is thrown back in her face and the priest and the sheriff asks her if he was giving out Qurans to the people, the children in this community, is it going to be taken lightly? And obviously she was like, no, it wouldn't. I just wanted to make sure like it wouldn't be violent stuff. And she just says a whole lot of Islamophobic BS. She is a big character and I really like Beverly Keane. I actually underestimated her when she was introduced in. I just thought that she was just like a Karen and a holier than thou, and then she killed Joe Collins' dog and I was like, oh, what did the dog do to you, miss? Let's all hold hands in church and pray. Killing a dog for no reason, but he barked at you. You want to kill people too. You just haven't found the scripture to go with it, but you want to kill people too. Now, throughout the series, you don't really see Bev showing much character development. She's very ill. She's very annoying. You want to bite her ear off. You want to punch her in the guts. You hate her so much. You love her. She's evil. She's pure evil. She is making up excuses in her head on why the priest is totally insane and how killing somebody and drinking their blood is the glories of God. And rampaging through your community and pulling innocent people out of their homes and eating them alive is the spread of the gospel and the act of the apostles. She is batshit crazy. But we love Bev. We love her because she is insane and she embraces it with every fiber of her being. Every fiber of her being. We only see Bev begin to crack when the deed has been done. Everyone is a vampire or dead, right? And it is time for them to go into the world in this new divine state that they have found themselves in. And she has lost her mind when she begins to pick who lives and who dies, because they're gonna die when the sun comes up if they don't hide, right? So Bev Keane is picking and choosing. She's saying, you haven't come to church all this while, so you deserve to die. She's playing God. She has made herself God. She's lost her mind. But then, just when she thought that the glory of God has expanded and she has bonds everywhere else and is remaining just the rec center and the church, so if you're not living in the rec center or the church, you're going to die because all the houses are burning as they speak. She is so proud of all she has done, but then the church and the rec center burns down. And then she's like, oh no, we have the boats. And then Sturge tells her the boats are also burnt. And you see her begin to crack. She's holding on to Sturge as he walks away, asking, no, there has to be somewhere we can go. There has to be something we can do. She has lost it because her everlasting eternal life has been taken away from her, and she must go and face the God who she has served and dedicated her life to. A part of Bev Keane knows that she has done evil, knows that she's not a good person. That is why maybe she pushed so much for everlasting life to avoid judgment. Are you Bev Keane? Am I Bev Keane? Are we Bev Keane? Is there a part of us that fears the very things we believe in? Part 7, now what? Ending of Midnight Mass is really, really, really sad. I was like, wow, this is so sad. Riley Flynn is dead now. Erin Green is dead. She is the Jesus Christ nailed on the cross, sacrificing herself for the greater good. She's stabbing the angel's vampire's wings so that it will not be able to fly to safety as fast as it would like to when the sun rises. The people of the Crockett Island are in the means of their burning houses, all of them accepting their fate that they are going to burn to hell, to ash. They've started to talk among themselves on how they've done things that they can't believe they've done. How they've done things that they don't believe they would ever do. And they start to sing to their God. They've started to sing and sing, accepting the fate of death. And the dawn is coming. The sky is beginning to brighten. There's nowhere for them to go to. The place is burning. And they sing. On their little island, they raise their voices and they sing, "Nearer, my God, to thee." They're singing and singing, waiting for the moment that they die. And as the sun rises, the sheriff and his son pray to the sunrise. The only two people that survived, Lisa Scarborough and Riley Flynn's younger brother, are on a rowboat watching everything happen. Father Paul is going to die too. The reason he did all of this was to be with the woman he loves, and she's also going to die. And just in that moment, when the song is about to end, they all burn to ash. It's over. And even if you see the angel flying away half-heartedly because there's so much holes in his wings, you never know if for sure he's gonna make it to safety or not, letting you know that the people of Crockett might not be the last victims of fanaticism, social cohesion, indoctrination, because it lives within us. It lives in the very fabric of our being. It lives in the very fabric of our society. We can all be victims, angel or not, priest or not. It could be anybody of power. It could be anywhere you find yourself. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. But it was a good show. I really liked it. I really like it. You guys should watch it if you haven't watched it. Like, I'm literally out here geeking about the show. I'm going to be talking about the fall of the House of Usher too, because that show was also really, really good. And it has some things that I always want to talk about. Classism, selling your soul. All of that stuff is very interesting to me. Yeah. This has been really fun. I think I did this for fucking 2 hours because I wanted to get this whole video thing properly. I had to take multiple takes, and I'm getting so much comfortable talking to the camera. I'm so excited for like videos in the future. Yeah. Let me know if you like this video. Let me know every thought that you have in your head. I want to be in your head. I want to clutch into your every fiber of thought that you had while you were watching me talk. Remember to stay hydrated, question everything, doubt everything, be extremely skeptical, but have fun and make mistakes and be human and doubt and be fun and all of that stuff. Bye.